winner of the final NASCAR Cup Series race at Kentucky, 2023 Xfinity Series champion, most recent Xfinity Series winner at Pocono, and he's sitting on the pole for Indianapolis today. Man, he's done a lot, especially recently. Cole Custer is going back to the Cup Series in 2025. He will be racing for Haas Factory Team. If you did not know, Stewart Haas Racing is shutting down, meaning that they will no longer exist. Well, Gene Haas has opted to keep one of the Cup charters, keep the Xfinity team, and rebrand it into Haas Factory Team. So with that being said, they know that Gene Haas owns the team. They know they have a charter. They know Joe Custer, father of Cole Custer, is going to be essentially helping run the organization. I think he's the president, competition director, one of those big roles. They had to fill those seats up. Well, seat 1 of 3 is filled. It was highly anticipated that Cole Custer would sit in that seat. Cole Custer, of course, raced for Stewart Haas Racing, not only in the Xfinity Series, but the Cup Series as well. Was a rookie in 2020, as I said, won that final race at Kentucky in a thrilling 4-wide pass for the lead. Outside of that, though, you really can't say much about Cole Custer's Cup Series career, but at the same time, Stewart Haas Racing, you couldn't really say much about them outside of Kevin Harvick in that same time period. Custer was there in 2020, 2021, and 2022. Well, outside of Kevin Harvick in those 3 years, Cole Custer, he accounted for 33% of those victories that were not by Kevin Harvick. So do what you want with that information, but Cole Custer was demoted back to the Xfinity Series, and in his first full-time season back, he went out and won the championship. Won 3 races that year, 21 top 10s in 33 races, 14 top 5s. This season alone, in 19 starts, he has a win. It took him a while to get that win, but he has 8 top 5s, 15 top 10s, and he leads the points. So in my opinion, there was no question to this. Cole Custer has proven that he is capable. He went back to the Xfinity Series. He won the Xfinity Series. He's done what he's had to prove himself in a sense and get that promotion back to the Cup Series. Now, there was some more information released with Cole Custer going back to the Cup Series with Haas, and it's actually pretty important information. The first big piece of information, Haas is staying with Ford. There was technically a contract expiration with Stewart Haas Racing at the end of 2024, meaning they would have to find a new manufacturer. Of course, Haas Factory Team, it's a different team. It's a different situation. You got to get a new contract in place. Where are they going to go elsewhere? Back to Chevy? Would they go to Toyota? No, they are staying with Ford. And in my opinion, I think the Xfinity Series has a big role to play in that. The Xfinity Series numbers for Ford are already slim enough as is. Stewart Haas Racing was the only competitive Ford team in the Xfinity Series. You need to keep that team. You need to keep those 2 cars. Your numbers are slim enough as is. Your competitive numbers are so slim. There's only 2 of them. So you have to keep those numbers. And as a result, of course, that's going to be the Cup Series team staying forward as well. But a big piece of information that's coming with the Cup team is that they are going to reutilize Stewart Haas Racing's information, their sim data, their literal data, their other data, their parts, their pieces, all of that stuff. And on top of that, they're going to have a technical alliance with RFK Racing, and that is a big deal because RFK Racing is a Tier 1 program. They've won a race this year with Brad Keselowski, won 3 races last year with Chris Buescher. So the Haas Factory Team is coming into this thing, and once again, I don't think they're going to go out and win championship next year. They might even miss the playoffs. It's a very competitive field in the Cup Series, but this is a big deal. They're not going to be a back marker. They're not going to be even the back half of the mid-pack. They might struggle. You know, it's their first year as an independent team, single-car team. They might struggle a little bit, but if they can retain some of the team that they had, they have a driver they know, team owner, team president that they know, they could maybe make it into the playoffs. They could maybe get a top 20 finish in the points. So having that RFK alliance is a big deal, in my opinion, because of how good RFK is, because of all the resources they get from Ford. Keeping some of this data from Stewart Haas Racing is also a big deal. And then also just having a good, capable driver, in my opinion, that's another big deal. And then, of course, Haas is expected to sponsor the car. Now, a lot of other information came out in this regarding the Xfinity side. So that was the Cup side. Cole Custer's in the car. RFK Alliance, they're staying with Ford. All that, we got it down. As for the Xfinity side, it gets a little bit interesting here. Riley Herbst, who currently drives for Stewart-Haas Racing in the Xfinity Series, was offered a contract to essentially stay in his same role, but he instead is looking elsewhere in the Cup Series. There's lots of reports and rumors that he could end up at 2311 Racing in the third car. The sponsorship from Monster Energy, Herbst's, all that. There's a lot of potential with that funding that he could go front row, 2311. As I said, everyone thinks it's going to be 2311 right now, but it appears that he is heading off to the Cup Series, meaning both those Xfinity rides are open. Obviously, Cole Custer, he's going to Cup. Riley Herbst, he's going to Cup, just not with, Haas. So what does that mean? Who's going to potentially fill in those seats? Ryan Preece, he's a free agent still. Could we see a part-time guy like a Ryan Truex jump ship from Toyota and maybe go get a full-time seat at, Haas? What about Hailie Deegan? Where did that come from, honestly? Hailie Deegan, of course, a highly regarded prospect, or at least was. Spent 3 years in the Truck Series, and then this year made her full-time Xfinity Series debut and barely made it through half the season. It was a disappointing year at AM Racing, and as I said, most of the Ford teams struggled outside of Stewart-Haas, but at the same time, for Hailie Deegan, statistically, it's been an underwhelming NASCAR career so far. Only 5 top 10s in the Truck Series, none in the Xfinity Series, no top 5s in either. As I said, was once a highly regarded prospect, a highly regarded talent, a highly coveted talent, but it just has not worked out so far. And look, I think everyone wants it to work out for Hailie Deegan, but if she ends up getting this ride, Haas, Joe Custer actually in his press conference said they have talked to Hailie Deegan. They have been on the phone with Hailie Deegan. It's just a matter of things line up and just a lot of factors. Nothing's been put to paper yet, but he confirmed that Haas has talked to Hailie Deegan. So it's a legit potential situation where Hailie Deegan could end up in the Haas Factory Team Xfinity Series car. And in my opinion, if the Haas team, if they're as competitive as they are right now in the Xfinity Series, this is it, in my opinion. I know Hailie Deegan is still young. Potentially she could bounce around between some different teams, some different back markers or something, or even between trucks, Xfinity. But you look at this situation. The Haas Factory Team, if they continue to be the number one Ford team in the Xfinity Series, which, as I said, not a lot of options there. It's them, Ryan Sieg Racing, or AM Racing. So I would anticipate them still being that team. But right now, Cole Custer leads the points. Riley Herbst is 7th in the points. That's a very competitive team. So Hailie Deegan, this is her chance to prove herself. This is her chance to go out and show what she's capable of in a capable car. And if she can't do that, that might very well be it. Speaking of the Xfinity Series, I got to get going here. The Xfinity Series is racing at the Brickyard once again on the oval for the first time since 2019, I believe. So yes, it should be a fun race. I hope. They did weird things with the car, so maybe not. But it's coming up here, so I hope you watch that. It should be a hopefully fun race. We got the Cup Series tomorrow. Tyler Reddick is on pole. Hopefully that's a fun one too. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you guys later.